Hey, don't worry, fellas, I got this one. Accountability is not a reaction to a bad circumstance. Accountability is admitting fault. It's when you take responsibility for what your contribution is to a problem, whatever that contribution may be. And what I don't hear in any of what this woman said is any accountability. None. I don't hear any admission of any blame or fault or anything. And the problem we're having in our community, the men are telling you, is a lack of accountability, right? We're telling you girls that, we're telling you ladies, see, respect. See how easy that is? We're telling you ladies that accountability is when you can admit fault and then make a correction in your actions. Now, let's say that only the women correct, right? Let's say only the women correct. Well, you guys get your numbers down to where ours are. Shoot for that as a goal. Get down to where less than 20% of mothers in our community have children outside of wedlock. Now, you say, hey, well, marriage isn't the goal for everybody. That's fine. Don't have children then. Don't have any kids. Don't have children. Stop having babies without a father, a man who is committed to father that child. Don't proceed with a pregnancy without a man who is actively, openly, verbally, emphatically committed to taking care of that child. There you go. Accountability means, hey, I recognize that we've got a high amount of baby mamas and we are not exercising choice and discernment. We're not exercising discernment before we decide who we're going to have babies for. There, admit it. Admit it. Admit that our women as a group, don't blame the men, right? Just take responsibility for your piece. The men take responsibility for our piece. We got our Pookies and Ray Rays. These are men that are liars. They hide kids. They do fuckboy shit, right? We admit these guys exist, okay? They're fucking it up, right? We hold them accountable by shaming them. But you guys won't even admit that there's a problem. You're saying that the problem is just the men and that there's no burden of discernment on a woman for who she has child with. That if the man tricks her, then that alleviates the responsibility. And a trick is any man who doesn't want to stay and raise a child with you, regardless of what the circumstance is, right? So you got a woman that tells you, hey, we're just having sex, this is fun, sex only, right? These women say, hey, you don't want to stay, devote the next 18 years of your life for being a father, then that means you're a fucking piece of shit. Fine. We accept that standard. We accept the standard that if you knowingly put a baby on a man who doesn't want a child, that he's still a Pookie if he doesn't show up. Fine. You that's how you want to play it? Fine. But how about this? Accept this standard. If you give a child to a man who already has other children by other women that he did not marry, then you're a Pookisha. Accept that as a standard. How about some accountability there? Right? How about some accountability on if you decide to have children with a man who doesn't have a job? What about that? How about if you decide to have children with a man who is actively cheating on you? He's been doing it over and over again, and you're currently in the suspicion of whether or not he's loyal to you, and you aren't somebody, he isn't somebody who you're willing to tolerate any form of disloyalty out of. Because y'all are willing to tolerate some disloyalty out of some of us, right? Yes, y'all are. Y'all like to share the guys at the top, you know. That's why Chris Brown can get all the ass he want, even though you know he ain't loyal, right? That's okay though, no problem. Those morals move around really quick when the bag get big enough. All that, those requirements you guys have that are just spiritual and so heartfelt, all that shit get moved to the side really quick when there's enough zeros behind the comma. Give a comma to the drama for the bullshit with your mama. So let's do that. How about that? You guys admit that women who have had children by men who already have children outside of wedlock that they're not taking care of, those women are pookeishas, and you're going to hold them accountable. Ratchet women, you don't excuse the behavior of ratchet women. You don't make any excuses for them, right? They loud, obnoxious, ridiculous. You don't act like that's because they're powerful and confident. You admit that they're uneducated and untamed, ridiculous people, right? Start instituting some standards for black women other than having a manifest mindset. Have some standards for the women. Women have standards for women that are outside of whether or not they had sex with your man specifically. But if they doing anything else, it's all fair and love and war. But this whole, hey, divesting is accountability. Women who want to divest, divest. You want to go, go. We ain't trying to stop the women with your mindset, okay? But don't sit up and act like there's some type of accountability, okay, that you guys are doing by doing the manifest shit. We don't want to hear it. We don't. It's a bunch of bullshit. So, there you go. Start there. Let's do some accountability like that. All right, toodles.